Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the short clip where we look at arraying a column and grid line in Revit. This just comes as a response to a comment by one of our viewers in one of our previous clips. So my name is Jacobus Oberholster. I'm an AEC and Procon technical consultant with Micrographics, and you can check my email address there in the bottom left if you'd like to get a hold of me after watching this video or any of our other videos, or whether or not you just want to chat about something pertaining to either the Autodesk, Procon, or Idea Statica software. Otherwise, please feel free to pop something in the chat, like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps us a lot. But other than that, hope that you enjoy this short clip, and please feel free to let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see on our channel. All right, so in Revit, one of the first things that we're going to do is we're just going to draw out a grid line, and then we would like to actually make use of a model line to define the center of that array itself. So first thing to note, of course, when you open up your template, just make sure that you are in the right view. And of course, what I'd like to do is just go to the level 1 view from where we will start our modeling process. Now, one of the things that I've actually had a challenge with is just the fact that um, I think with Windows 11, it can just sometimes mess with Revit's performance really, really badly. As you can see, it's still just loading, not responding, which is really, really annoying. However, when you go and change your settings in the graphic settings of Windows itself and change it to high performance and then restart the software, it seems to really make a significant difference to Revit's performance. But unfortunately, what that requires from me from time to time is that I go and just mess around with the graphic settings a bit and then just restart my device completely, which I just do not feel like doing now. But if you're having the same problem in Revit, please shout out to us and we'll happily show you how we go about fixing or remedying the issue. All right, so first things first, I'm just going to draw out a single grid line. And then what I want to do is I want to draw out a model line, which I will delete later. This is just, again, to position to indicate a center point. Of course, you can cut your grid line short, so that's also not a problem. The model line just helps because it gives you something to snap to. So then what I'll do as well is I'm going to add a column. So let's just go for a 450 by 600 column. I can see those temporary dimensions there, and I can position this like that. Press spacebar to rotate it by 90 degrees, and I've got my column there. Of course, I haven't modified any of its parameters, so I'll just set this as level 2, apply, and I'll reduce that base offset to 0. All right, again, Revit will just now take its sweet time with recording those changes. And just again, if maybe you've just joined in now, that is because of the graphic settings in Windows 11, amongst other things. All right, I'm going to select this now. I'm in the Modify Multi-Select Contextual tab, and I'm going to go for the Array function. I'm happy with it being a radial array. Usually it is linear, but in this case, I want it to be radial. I'm going to set the number of to 10. And then with place there, I'm going to snap to that center point. And then I'm just going to snap again to the center of the column. Then what I can do is I can set the angle to something like 360 and press enter. All right, you can see that works really, really well. Just something funny that happens is that the grid line sequence seems to go 1, 2, and then 3, and then from there 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And my suspicion is that it's got something to do with the 360-degree rotation that we specified. So we can even have a look at that. So I'm just going to select these guys and delete all of them. And I'm going to select this guy again, go for the array. I'm going to set it to 5 this time. Snap to that point, snap to the center of the column, and change that to 180. Okay, unfortunately now, because we had those grid lines previously that we had there, it's counting up now from there. So what we're going to do is let's just create a brand new template. So I just want to select a brand new template, and we can then go from there. So I usually work with the South African content pack template. That's just the nicest one to kickstart things off with, and a really good one to use as a baseline for any templates that you might look at setting up. It comes preloaded with the South African rebar shapes, which is really very, very useful. So just something to keep in mind as well. The installing the South African content pack is really, really useful and can greatly simplify your workflow. All right, so everything seems to be fine. I'm again just going to place that grid line over there. I want that model line over there, and I'm going to shorten that grid line back to that model line. I want my column, so I'm going to use a bigger column this time, and I want to place it at 10,000. All right. Okay, so let me select that, go for array, radial array. I'll go for 5. I'll snap to that point there, and this will be 180. You can see it's very interesting how it works. It's most likely because of that last setting. All right, so let's try that again. This time around, I'll go for the full move to second. There we go. That is most likely our problem. I'm going to click there and then set this to 360. And again, unfortunately, even with that change, you can see that the grid line goes 1, 2, 3. All right, let's do it once more with just a 180-degree rotation. So I'll go for 5. I'm happy with that there. Select there, and let's do it as 180. Okay, something I missed there. So set that to 8. Select there and there. Go for 180. And then press enter. You can see that now there's something weird. There's probably something that I'm missing here in my workflow. So I'm just going to try it again. I'm happy with that there. I'm going to snap to that point there and that point there. And 180. And it's most likely now because of that move to second function. All right, so it says choosing second allows you to specify the distance between copies in an array. Last specifies the total distance. All right. So what's probably happening is that because we using the second function now, we actually need to change our angle up a bit and calculate our angle. All right, so I'm going to say move to second. I'm going to select these 2 points here, and then I'm going to set that one to something like 15 degrees. And you can see that works very, very well. So you can see that depending on which one of those 2 functions you use, you might have to adjust your approach to your angle a bit differently. So if we take 360 divided by 10, that should be just 36, of course. So let's try this. So I'm going to select this again. I'm going to say move to second. I'm going to say 10. Select there, and then the angle this time around will be 36. And we can see that that works brilliantly. All right, so you just have to play around with those angles, but the move to second works quite well. And you can see there that those grid lines actually follow very nicely in sequence, because you don't want to have to go and waste time actually just redrawing those grid lines. All right, so I hope you found that insightful. If there's something I've missed just in this function, please feel free to pop it in the comment section below. I don't assume that I know everything and anything about, everything about Revit. I do know something at least. Otherwise, I wouldn't be creating this clip. But yeah, if you have any recommendations or even if there's something I've done wrong, please feel free to pop it in the comment section below. But otherwise, I hope this has helped you, and I look forward to hearing from you. Otherwise, have a wonderful day and check you in our future clips.